Hi guys, welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm making pressure cooker chili spiced pork loin. Alright guys, I'm starting out here with the cylinder to my tumble vacuum sealer marinator. Now if you can't vacuum seal your pork loin, I suggest you put it in a Ziploc freezer bag, put it in the fridge overnight, or for at least 4 hours. Now I have a 2-pound pork loin here I cut in half and trimmed the fat off of. I'm going to explain to you why I cut it in half. For one, it'll help marinate it better, and for two, when you pressure cook meat, if you cut it down, it gets more tender than if you put one big chunk in. I'm going to start by dumping in about a half a cup of orange juice, and I'm just eyeballing that. Now I'm going to put in a teaspoon and a half of chili powder, which has pretty much this container. I'm going to put in a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. I'm going to put in a 1/4 of a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1/4 of a teaspoon of ground cumin, a 1/4 of a teaspoon of dried thyme leaves. You could also use a ground thyme if that's all you have. A 1/4 of a teaspoon of ground cloves, and I'm going to add in about a half a teaspoon of salt. Let me get my salt grinder here. Okay, now I'm going to add in 1 red onion I diced up and 2 cloves of garlic I diced up. And if you don't have a vacuum sealer or any way to vacuum seal or marinate your meat, I suggest marinating it for 2 to 4 hours to overnight in a regular Ziploc bag. I'm going to put my lid on here. And what this is going to do is this is going to speed up the marinating process from that 4 hours to overnight to 15 minutes. So I'm going to get this hooked up here and get this vacuum sealing a while. Push my vacuum seal button. Alright, now that I have my pork loin vacuum sealed and it's spinning and marinating, this is going to go for 15 minutes. When it's done and I'm ready to put it in the pressure cooker, I'll bring you guys back. Okay, now my pork loin's done marinating, I'm going to release the pressure out of the vacuum sealer. And I have my Instant Pot heating up here on a saute setting. I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil in there. It's enough to coat the bottom of the pan. Get my pork loin out of here. Okay. Now I'm going to saute or fry the pork loins till they're golden brown on each side. And you can see, guys, how dark they got from marinating just for that 15 minutes. So I'm going to get them in here and fry them one at a time. Okay, now that I'm done searing my 2 pork loins, I'm going to dump about a cup of orange juice in the pressure cooker and scrape up some of that goodness from the bottom. And once again, I'm just eyeballing. You just want to scrape it up. Another fancy term for this is deglazing the pan, but we're not going to go all fancy today. I have my heat off in here for just now. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and return my pork loins, or my 1 pork loin cut in half, however you want to look at it. Okay, now that marinade that we cooked this, or marinated this in, I'm going to dump that in over top of the pork loins. Get most of my onion out of there. Okay, now I'm going to seal my lid on here, and I'm going to set this to pressure cook for 20 minutes. Then I'll let it sit for 10 minutes, and after 10 minutes are up, I'll do a quick release of whatever pressure is left in the pressure cooker. Alright, now that my pork loins are done pressure cooking and I left it do that natural release, so I'm going to take them out and set them aside on a plate tenant foil to rest. I'm going to turn my pressure cooker back on, and this juice in the pressure cooker, or sauce, I'm going to reduce that down and we're going to serve that over top of the pork. So I'm just going to push my saute button, bring this up to a boil, and reduce that down by about half. Okay guys, now that my sauce reduced, let's go ahead and cut up that pork loin and see how it looks. Alright guys, let me go ahead and cut into this and we'll see what we got. See, it's cooked through. It's nice and moist, tender. Let's go ahead and fix up a plate and see what we got, guys. I went ahead and served some of that sauce over top of the pork, and I also made some garlic mashed potatoes to go with this. Let me get in here and give this a try. It's nice and tender, guys. That's really good. You get the acidity of the orange juice, the spiciness of the chili powder, the sweetness from the cinnamon, and the natural flavor of the pork. Spicy but not too spicy. Let me try a little bit of my potatoes here. They're good. Nice and creamy, and I threw some ricotta cheese in with them when I was mashing them. That helped cream them up. Okay, there you have it. Pressure cooker chili spice pork loin. Give it a try. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll see ya.